Hi, everyone. This is Facebook Live today, talking about experiencing intelligent breakthroughs in your sports performance and life. And today, as you all know, I'm going to talk about my human performance and life breakthroughs model. And there's a bonus as far as a performance and outcomes visual. However, instead of going through the model, which I will give you a link so that you can see it, and I'll briefly explain it, but just take a look at one of the earlier videos, the ones from Tuesday in our group, to get a detailed explanation. What I want to do for you as an athlete is to realize that by using my model, what you might think takes a really, really long time and it psychs you out maybe, it doesn't take that long. The challenges are, of course, when someone looks at something. I remember years ago, I was listening to Michael Phelps, and he was talking about his coach, and his coach would tell him something, what the practice routine was going to be, or the workout would be for the day. And Michael would say that, in his mind, immediately, he would just be like, oh, all these obstacles would come, like, oh, that's going to take forever and that's going to be so hard, etc. And so what his coach started to do was he actually wrote it down. So after he'd tell him, or maybe even before, he would write it down, and Mike would take a look at it. Michael Phelps, who we know is like probably the most decorated athlete I've ever seen as far as creating breakthroughs. I mean, it's just amazing what he did at the Olympics at Beijing. And I've never seen anything like it. And so his coach would write it down, and Mike would see it written. And when he'd see it written, for whatever reason, maybe the way that his mind interpreted it, the feeling of a contentment, positive contentment towards the initiative, just resonated with him differently. And of course, different athletes resonate with each other in different ways, but for him, that was one of the things. When he saw it written, it was just like, okay. And his interpretation of the workout became totally different. It became one of feeling contentment, positive contentment towards the initiative. And that's what a lot of us do. We put together these ill-conceived barriers or obstacles in our way that we need to overcome, when we shouldn't be putting those barriers or obstacles in the way to begin with. And of course, that's really one of the keys to the coach and athlete, and even me as a mental performance and life consultant and coach, keys to making it easier and making it fun and enjoyable mastery, so that my clients can put their gifts, talents, and skills towards what it is that they're wanting to do and integrate into their life. Because to create, sustain, and grow a breakthrough, it needs to be something that's going to be integrated into your life. These are not things that we're talking that are quick like this. Although in 1 or 2 sessions, based on the precise situation of yours, I definitely can deliver that kind of effect. However, the long-term implementation of that is something that you want to integrate into your life. And so my model is real simple. We have the nurture, the build or the development, then the build stage, and then the grow stage. Then we have accomplishments here. And then, of course, that goes and feeds back into your next vision for your success and beyond. And that is the signal that starts the process. And so it's mastery of that process in a fun and enjoyable way. And really, the key to all of that is feeling positive contentment towards the initiative that you're on. And so it's important that you feel. Now, I know you all know I'm a mental performance and life consultant and coach. However, the brain does more than think, right? We all know that. The brain feels, the brain has emotion, the brain, if you want, has spiritual growth. The brain is also physical. And of course, all of this resonates into other areas of your body, or you can say that holistically, it's all just one system that we've just broken up into individual parts. You can look at it that way as well. Regardless of how you look at it, what I'm saying is that the thinking and the seeing part, which are obviously very important, is a sub-process. So of course you have to think or have thoughts. Of course you have to see. And all that in the mind, that's important. However, it's the feel. That's a sub-process. It's the feel of that contentment, positive contentment towards your initiative, that's actually making it fun and enjoyable. And of course, next week I'll talk about the zone formula, and some of you all have already seen that, but I can explain it so much better, and you can see how it's really implemented and applies to what it is that you're trying to do in your human performance and life breakthroughs. So that's essential that you realize that. Now, one of the things that I notice with a lot of people is that, a lot of people, they're challenged with evaluation. They're challenged with, and I don't like this either. I don't like let's just do this and see what happens. And because I don't know what we're targeting, where we're going. And that's why I created this model. So I know that, the first 24 to 48 hours, I'm nurturing my client because we're learning something new or we're reinforcing something, whatever it may be. But then after they make the decision to go to the develop stage, we've got 21 days, just like research shows, to form a habit. That's that 21 days. And sure, you still get to put your gifts, talents, and skills here, but really what you're doing is you're either removing a habit or adding a habit. And it takes about 21 days to do that. And then another 21 days. So now we're at 42 days when we get into the build stage. And this is where we're talking about your precise, specific situation. Because see, that everything you've nurtured and you built, they're ingrained. So when you're in the development stage, you don't need to think about nurturing anymore. You're way past that. However, when you get into build, you don't need to think about nurturing or developing. You're way past that. You're in the build stage. And so they ingrain into one another. And then, of course, you get into the grow stage. And this is the funnest stage because you actually apply your mastery of your gifts, talents, and skills towards what it is that you're wanting to experience breakthroughs in your performance in life. And so this is something that's integrated into your life. And then, of course, from the growth stage, we get accomplishments, whatever those successes, those wins, those records, those breakthroughs, those outcomes are. And of course, in each one of those stages, you will feel contentment as you're mastering, and you want to feel that positive contentment. So you stick with it, right? You stay motivated and inspired. And yes, some things will happen. And of course, earlier in my career, I wasn't as valuable of a service to my clients because I didn't have the tools and the skill set necessarily to help individuals with areas like injury, being injured, or health challenges, or even some relationship challenges. But now in my career, I have those skills and tools in those areas as well. And so I've just gone through that whole process of nurturing, developing, building, and growing and accomplishing. And once you accomplish, what do? Well, you create a greater vision of success and beyond. And that feeds into the signal of more success, and you start this process again. And that more success for a lot of athletes is just, and a lot of people, it's just them thinking they can do so much more. Yet they don't have the tools, they don't have the knowledge, and they need the right help and the person that can deliver that for them. And so that's really important that you realize that there are people out there that can deliver the right help. And there's a reason they're there, just like things that they don't know in your area of expertise or profession. However, they have theirs, just like I do. And so, mine is human performance in life, experiencing breakthroughs in those. And I've definitely earned that ability. And it's so fascinating and interesting to me and so insightful because it's just the infinite amount of learning that I can do. I mean, it really, really is. The amount of learning I do today is far exceeds anything that I ever did in any other stage of my life. And I actually really love it. I feel positive contentment doing it. Now, the thing is what I need to do is I need to filter out what's not relevant and what's not quality. I mean, we have so much information and it's sometimes information overload, and I just have to push it to the side and say, that's just way too much information, because first of all, I can't even tell if it's real or not, or if it's true or not. Look at the context of situation, and it's almost like, the media or the internet's trying to convince me of it. And so I have my criterias and I have my filter, and I know when to see quality information. And so that's one of the things that I really focus on is getting around quality. I want quality. I'm not concerned if somebody is new. I'm not concerned if they've been there for so long. I mean, sure, in my mind, I'm thinking, well, since they've been doing this a while and their quality is probably a little better. But really, because I am innovative and entrepreneurial, there's a lot of new ideas or new companies or new people in this world that I've never heard about that have quality things, whether they've just started or they've been doing it a while. And so that is not a barrier for me whatsoever. I am looking at the quality of it, what the results and the outcomes are, and can I master it in a fun and enjoyable way? Can I feel positive contentment towards it? And I work with athletes and I help them. And, some of the programs they go to, depending upon the coach they go, I mean, they know before going what the culture and what to expect is, because they know other athletes there, or they themselves have done the research. And, not all coaches are the same, and not all people are the same. So certain people resonate with different coaching cultures than others. But I myself want to have a coaching culture where I can use my gifts, talents, and skills towards mastering what I want and feeling positive contentment in the initiatives that I'm working on, and for them to nurture, develop, build, and grow me. And of course, for me to perform in all aspects of life for them, so that the team and everyone has more success than without me. And so that's something essential. And then, of course, you notice that I've got my glasses on today, and you notice also that I don't have business casual on today. I'm just sort of hanging out, and that's because I just took some downtime today. It wasn't long, just because I've got plenty to do, and I'm thankful that I've got plenty to do. But, I took about probably 3 hours, maybe 2.5, which, is not major downtime, but it's enough to just let me relax some, because I could tell, feeling my body and listening. And, one of the things that I just have to realize when that happens is that resistance, your body, as you all know, will tell you a lot of times. Your mind will tell you a lot of times. A lot of things will tell you a lot of times, but resistance just means you're closer to breakthroughs. I'll repeat that again. Resistance means you're closer to breakthroughs. And so I felt resistance, and I knew that I'd experience breakthroughs. But during that resistance points, the best thing for me to do today, not always, I mean, obviously when I'm playing a sport, I tell myself that, I don't need to get tired. I need to be, to stick with it. I need to increase my energy, or I need to feel power and control. I use a lot of feel when I'm like that, and I use the word need. I need to feel power and control, or I use the phrase, I don't need to be tired. And that will just get me through that resistance, because obviously that's not the time to do what I'm doing now, which is just chill. I mentor a kid in elementary school, and this is what I learned from him. He's like, yeah, after lunch, we get to go back to class and we have 15 minutes to chill. And he says it, and he has a little smile on his face, just chill, chill. And so I implemented that. I had never heard anybody say it like that. I've heard people say chill when somebody's like being tirade or, is just in a bad mood and just being too emotional. But I've never heard it to where it's like a positive mental tool. So, I just chilled today. And so that's what I did today. And as you can see, my whole persona, the energy that I'm exuding and stuff, it's night and day compared to a couple of hours ago. So, for me to chill, I just sort of shut everything off. No texting, no information, no surfing, none of that. Just sort of just felt the day and just spend some time with a friend or a family member of mine and just, doing the little things in life. The little things that sometimes we take for granted, like making tea or just having coffee and talking a little bit, or just feeling and sitting still and feeling contentment and appreciation and positive contentment and appreciation for all the things I've done. Because, I ask myself this question every day, and this, are you better today than yesterday? And of course, today, at least I answered, I'm better today than yesterday. And so as an athlete, you need that downtime. As a person, you need that downtime. In your athletics, in your life, you do. You need that downtime. Now, this downtime doesn't have to be a major vacation. It can be. I mean, I'm all for taking a major vacation. But it's also downtime that's strategically implemented so that you feel positive contentment. Because I'm telling you what, those people that aren't able to feel positive contentment, they'll never have mastery of the fun and enjoyment of the process. They may get pretty far based on talent and skill and their gifts and all of those things. However, what's the point in getting that far if you're not going to feel positive contentment and have fun and enjoyment and going through it? Anything that I've done that was like a major accomplishment, and this is just me, this is not everybody, okay? But me, that major accomplishment over here wasn't as satisfying as me being able to reflect on the journey and how I got there and the mastery and fun and feeling contentment and enjoyment of the process. It almost seemed as if the outcome would come to me. I didn't go chase it just because I was doing the right things and doing the mastery of the feeling contentment and fun and joy and mastering that whole process. And that's what sticks with me. And by doing that, I also apply that same type of mindset into the other things that I do, whatever it may be. Whatever it is that you do. I don't know what you do, but besides your athletics, you do things, right? And in your life, in your hobbies, or whatever it may be. So, that's what I have today as far as some things to think of. I'll give you the link so that you can really look at the model. You can understand it. The stages now. So if you were to work with me or have me help you, you get a sense of a feel for what to expect. However, also know that for your precise specific situation, I also have my abilities and skills to address those that don't take as long as that whole model shows. However, it's for those major initiatives that model's really used for. But throughout those major initiatives, we will have areas and times where we'll need to use those precise skill set of mine to get you through that resistance. And eventually what you'll do is you'll ingrain all of those tools into your ability. And of course, you'll add your gifts, talents, and skills, discover your new gifts, talents, and skills. And that's what will separate you from the pack as an athlete in your life. And most importantly, you'll feel positive contentment, mastery of your sports performance in life. And that's a feeling that's unexplainable. It's one of those things, and you might have heard this. It's, some people, they feel resistance and they want to flee, or they're frightened. And actually, a quote of mine is, resistance means you're closer to breakthroughs. Resistance means you're closer to breakthroughs. So it's how you interpret that resistance. Is that resistance, are you fleeing or are you frightened by it? Or do you realize and interpret it as a signal saying that you're closer to breakthroughs? Interpret it as being closer to breakthroughs and be wise in what it is that you do. And of course, that's why I'm here, to help athletes with that, because it is a highly individualized, customized, um, situational, contextual skills that's required there. And I'd be glad to help anyone with that. And so please reference this, please share this. If you have any comments, comment on it. I'd like to really help you, and share this with your friends, invite them, and you'll be hearing more about me, and we'll be getting more people on board for sure. And lots of exciting things that I've been working on that it's not really time to get into right now, because they're really in the what I would say the build stage. Actually, some of it is in the development stage, and then some of it is in the build stage. So I'm really excited about that, and pretty amazing what it is, because it's a holistic project. So haven't really done anything quite similar to this type of project, and so it's real exciting to me. And of course, I hope there is something that you're trying to create, a breakthrough. You want to sustain a breakthrough or grow a breakthrough, because if it's not worth creating, it's not worth sustaining. And if it's not worth sustaining, it's not worth growing. And that's what we need to find, what those are for you to integrate into your life. They become integrated into your life, not in silos. This is something that by using this and all the tools and the frameworks and all of the highly customized interventions that I do, they all will be able to be used by you at the precise, exact right time. And as you get better and better, as you know, as an athlete, you really don't have to think about it as much. You become what some people call unconsciously competent. I just like to say that you've just shifted as a person. You've increased your abilities. And so as a person, you have shifted, not that one's better than the other. You just have the mindset of outdo yourself. You're not comparing yourself to anybody else. Outdo yourself. And as you do that, you will feel naturally that feeling of positive contentment, mastery, fun, and enjoyment towards whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. So I'm glad to help. If something resonates here with you, please contact me. There's a lot more work that we can do together.